But let's keep going here. How is the market made between buyers and sellers? So we're going to get very detailed here, and we're going to go nice and slow, and we're going to explain exactly how the market's made. So the highest price a buyer is willing to pay at any given moment, it's called the bid. The lowest price a seller is willing to accept at any given moment is called the ask. And there's always a spread between the bid and the ask. And as an investor, you want the bid-ask spread to be tight. You don't want a massive difference between what buyers are looking for and what sellers are looking for. It's better if that gap, the bid-ask spread, is tight. And we're going to have a whole module dedicated to stock orders. But the basic stock order, there's two basic stock orders. There's the market order, where you're instructing your broker to buy or sell shares immediately, regardless of the price. And then there's the limit order, where you specify a certain price or better. So with a market buy order, what you're doing is you're buying shares right away. And the best price you can buy those shares is the ask. Remember, the ask is the lowest price a seller is willing to accept. And the opposite, let's say you're doing a market sell order. You want to sell those shares right away, but you want to sell those shares as high as possible. Remember, the bid is the most a buyer is willing to pay for the shares. The limit order buy is you have to be the bid to purchase the shares. The limit order sell, you have to wait for you to become the ask to sell those shares. So this is a little confusing. We'll actually get to a real example in just a moment. And it's important to remember the market moves constantly. The bids and asks move constantly. It's very liquid. But you also might be asking, how come I just see a stock price? I don't see anything about the bids. I don't see anything about the asks. What's going on here? Well, most stock quotes, they only show the last price shares were sold. The last price the buyers and sellers came together and shares traded hands. But stock quotes that show the bid and the ask, they're called level 2 stock quotes. You might also hear the term viewing the order book or viewing the market depth. So as buyers and sellers come together, as buy and sell orders are executed, there's a detailed record that can be viewed anytime. It's called the time and sales record. It shows the time, it shows the number of shares, it shows the price, and that's referred to as the tape. So now that you have all this terminology here, let's actually take a look here. So here we have a real example, Tesla Motors. At this given moment, we can see the bids in the green, we can see the asks in the blue. Off to the right, we see last 10 trades. That is the tape. That is the time and sales of the last 10 trades that were performed. So the bid, the best price that, I should say, the highest price a buyer is willing to pay for Tesla shares in this moment, $235.57. The ask, remember, is the seller's. The lowest price a seller is willing to accept for their shares at this very moment, $235.86. We can see the spread is the difference between the 86 cents and the 57 cents. That's called the bid-ask spread. If you want to buy Tesla shares right away in this moment, you're going to be paying $235.86. That's the price your broker is going to fill a market order. The exact same thing is going to happen with selling the shares through a market order. If you need to sell Tesla shares right away in this very moment, the price you're going to receive, $235.57. again, your broker might not get that fill. You might get filled a little bit lower. A market order it's all about speed. It's not about the price. It's the limit order that allows you to become a bid. The limit order is where you're specifying a price. So if you want to sell your Tesla shares, in this example, $235.60, well, that would make you the bid, because that is the highest price any buyer in this moment is willing to pay. And let's take a look at a selling example. So if you want to become the ask, you would be, in this case, willing to sell your shares $235 and let's say 85 cents. That would make you the lowest seller willing to sell your Tesla shares, because the next buyer in line, $235.86. Since you're 85 cents, you're lower, you're the ask. And of course, we can see off to the right the last 10 trades. Let's take a look at another example. Let's take a look at an Apple example. In this case, the bid and the ask spread is very tight. The bid, $118.16. The ask, $118.17. So the 1 penny spread, that's great. It's showing there's a lot of liquidity. It's showing that this stock is very well traded. So again, if you want to buy Apple stock, you could do a market order. You'd be filled at $118.17. You want to do a market sell, you'd be filled at $118.16. And off to the right, we can see the last 10 trades. And what I'm looking at here, this is a level 2 that's actually free. It's provided by Bats Trading. And you just go to batstrading.com. You can Google search it, go there directly, and you'll see right on the homepage, you'll actually have a book viewer available. And what I recommend you do, if you haven't done so, is to enter in a ticker symbol of your favorite stock during the market hours, and you'll actually see these screens process stock orders in real time. It will really help you understand the whole process.